In today's video, I'll be making it on the FM Towns um, computer. I'll be emulating a Fujitsu FM Towns computer emulator. So this is not a very common emulator at all. So you can get it on GitHub. You can get the program here. You can go to this web page. Gives you the links to where you can get the emulator and where you can also get a firmware or the BIOS for FM Towns computer as well. So you could get the program here. The program is made by Soji Yamakawa. He's the one who developed the FM Towns emulator. It's called Tsugaru. I think that's what it's called. That's how it's pronounced. I think it's been developed for about 3 years. This guy started the development on it back in June 28th of 2020, and the latest version is for April 20th, 2023. So it's been in development for 3 years, and he probably fixed a lot of bugs for it, but however, there are some problems with it, and it's stated right here on these notes. You're going to have problems if you use more than 16 megabytes of RAM using Windows 3.1, L10, and there's still some problems with it. You can get the program here. You can get the latest you can get the binary for Windows. If you have Linux, then you can get Linux. This is for Macintosh OS or Apple OS. So I have Windows 11, so I'll select that. I also want to get the BIOS files, which he has here, which you can download there. I got the BIOS files and I have the emulator file. So I'm going to put the emulator files here. I'm going to call it FM Towns. I'm going to put all the program files in there. I'm going to put the ROMs file. I'm going to make a folder called BIOS. This is where you put all the firmware files for the FM Towns computer. A little bit of background on the FM Towns computer. This computer was only released in Japan. It was released in February 28th of 1989, and the last version was produced in 1997. It uses its own proprietary sound, audio, and video cards. However, it does use standard X86 based processors like the 386 SX-16 Mhz, all the way up to a socket 5 Pentium 120 megahertz, which is right here, which is the last model. The sound card is not like any PC sound card. It's its own proprietary sound card, which is capable of 8-channel sound. It's based on the Ricoh RF5C68. Produce 8 PCM channel. It supports 8-bit PCM channels with 19.6 hertz and 8-bit to 10-bit audio depth. The graphics card is not like any PC video card. It's not a VGA or Super VGA or anything like that. It's its own custom Fujitsu chip, which has a which could display in resolution of 320 by 200, which was standard at the time, up to 720 by 512 resolution, which was pretty high at that time, back in 1989, with 16 to 32,000 colors out of a possible 4,096 to 16 million colors. So it could choose from a platelet of 4,096 to 16 million colors. I guess at 16 colors, when it's displaying at a higher resolution, it could pick it out of 4,096, which is a lot better than EGA, which was 16 colors at a platelet of 64 colors, or VGA, which was about 256 colors at a resolution of 320 by 200 out of a total platelet of 256,000 colors. So this is definitely better than VGA. Comes with 640 KB of video RAM, 512. Okay, 640 KB of video RAM, which was a lot at the time. So, yes, so we'll be emulating this computer. So the computer looks like this. Let's see. You're probably not going to be able to find a computer, FM Towns computer, easily on eBay. And if you do find one, it's going to be a lot of money. So FM Towns Marty was kind of like the video game console version of the FM Towns computer. This was purely for video games, unlike the FM Towns, which was a computer, basically. They also, Fujitsu released this as a video game console. I don't know if this was successful or not. How many models? Only 45,000 units were sold, which isn't a very successful system. Let's see how many sold. 500,000, not a lot. Nevertheless, it was a very good computer for arcade style video games, which I will show you next. So I put the BIOS files in here. I put the game program files in here, and I put it into this folder. So let's get started. So I'm going to start that. So you want to start Tsugaru GUI, that's graphical user interface. You could use the command line interface if you want, but I'm going to use the graphical user interface. This is a safe program. So what I want to do first is I want to associate this to the ROMs directory. Here, it's in BIOS. This is the folder I want to select, open. I want to run it at full screen when I run the program. So you can select full screen. By default, it's on normal window, but select this. I like full screen. Going to select a game port. I'm going to select keyboard. Button 1, I'm going to say Z. Second button X. Second port. This is 1 and 2. In computers, you say 0. You count 0 also in 1. So this is 1 and 2. Mouse for that. What I want to do now is I want to save this profile. Yes. Okay. And now I want to get some games. We could find games here on My Abandonware. I'll leave a link for this in the video descriptions below. Go to platforms. Go to FM Towns. They may not have every FM Towns computer game in here, but they have a lot. But you could, if you want to find more, you can. You can go to archive.org, and this has probably almost every FM Towns program that was ever made. Each pack is about 4 gigabytes. The download speed is quite slow at only 1.5 megabytes. So just download it. Just leave your computer on for a while, and you'll get these files. Let's see what's in there. Okay, these are game files .z 7z format. So you'll probably need to get the 7z 7-zip program. I'll leave this in the video descriptions below. You could use this to unzip zip files. I mean, not zip, but .c files. Okay, so we can get some games here if you want. Some of these games are not free, but on here you should be able to find everything that's on here, even the pay ones, without a problem. Puzzle Bobble, Chase HQ. That's an arcade game that I know. I'm gonna select the one for FM Towns. These files are pretty big, by the way, since the FM Towns computer uses CD-ROM. CD-ROM drive, 5.25 CD-ROM drive. These files are quite large. Bobble. Now that's another game that I know. They also have PC titles like Wing Commander and stuff like that. Also Bobble. I'll select that for the FM Towns. I'll make another folder called Games. This is where I'll put my games. A folder called Chase HQ. Put all the files in there for it. And I'll put other games in there too. Other folder, put all that in there as well. Puzzle Bobble as well. Bubble Wobble, sorry. This was a very popular game from the late 1980s from Tato Corporation. Okay, looks good. I got all the games that I wanted. Go back here. Go back to main. We could also change the CPU frequency and the RAM as well. You can enable 80387 FPU, which I enabled. You can select high fidelity or medium fidelity. I like high fidelity, so let's go select the game. Let's select Raiden. This is a game that I know. And start. This is how you get to the menu. That's how you exit. Go back to Tsugaru. Okay, now it's full screen. Click on X, which I designated as a button. Sound is very good, as you can hear. It sounds better than the arcade, I think. So I'm going to get out of here. Go to menu. You could change the CPU frequency here if you want. If you want to make it faster. Or if it's kind of slow, then you could change it there. Let me get out of here. Let's try another game. Try Twin Cobra. This is a arcade port. Okay, that's enough of that. Try something else. Over under CD image. Right after Burner 3. Okay, that's enough. I'm gonna leave it at that. There were a lot of PC ported games for the FM Towns computer as well. Like Strike Commander was one of them. They had the FM Towns version as well. A lot of games for it. If you want to run your own FM Towns emulator, you can. I'll provide all the links, and they'll be in the comment section below. And hope you found it helpful. And thanks for watching.